Celebrate while we're in celebratory mood. These NHS one-stop shops, I read, have delivered over 1 million checks and tests since the rollout began. More details now from Health Secretary Sajid Javid. Well, congratulations, sir, to you and your colleagues. I don't know enough about these, sir. How do they work? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Nick. And look, I'm in Kingston Hospital. I'm looking at one of these brand new scanners right now, a CT scanner. And what we are referring to there is all part of our plans to deal with the COVID backlogs. You know, the billions that we're investing, part of that is going into these new, what we call the community diagnostic centres. So they're, as you say, there's these one-stop shops for tests and checks and scans like CT scans, MRI scans, ultrasounds and things like that, which make up, by the way, a majority of the waiting list. And they're in convenient locations. And they're delivering already. We've opened 90 of these across England already. And in a couple of years, there'll be 160 in total. Between them, they will deliver some 9 million more checks, scans and tests. It will free up capacity in the NHS and help us crack through that backlog. It's just one of the ways that we just need to be doing all that we can to help people with the post-pandemic health challenges.
Well, this is great news, and while I would never seek to advise you how to conduct your office, Secretary of State, might I suggest we need to know more about it? Would you like to speak to LBC about an advertising campaign? Because I don't think, respectfully, the message is out there. People don't know about this, Mr. Javid.
Well, you know what happens, Nick, is that unlike you, I come onto these media programs and stuff, and they let me talk about health and care because they recognise I'm the Health and Social Care Secretary.
Yes.
Do you know what some people have been doing today?
No.
Is I've come on to talk about this. They've been asking me about all this speculation about leadership elections and vote. And I told them, LBC,
Yes.
Nick will never do that. You wait to see. He will just ask me about what people care about.
Yes, indeed. If we could just take the word never out of the conversation. But can there be, in all seriousness, can there be a campaign? Because this does sound a huge step forward. There's going to be 100, I assume, around England and Wales, just to clarify that. But don't you think you do need to let patients know more about it, in all honesty, Mr. Javid?
Well, this is England, not Wales.
Just England.
Wales,
Okay.
as you know, they run their own NHS.
Of course they do.
It is. You're absolutely right. It is important that people know about them, so that they know that they should feel comfortable coming forward. If you have any health problems, issues, if you're scared about something, we're also launching this week, for example, a Don't Be Scared Around Cancer campaign. That if you think you might have some of the symptoms, the best thing is to do is to get checked up as quickly as possible. You may not have it at all, put your mind at rest, but if you do, early diagnosis is the most important thing. And we've got the capacity, we've got the capability. We just need people to just please come forward.
And do you and your colleagues have a sort of time frame by which you hope to have played catch-up? That is to say, allowing for the enormous issue that was the pandemic and the shift that was put in by NHS staff. Are you hopeful by this time next year you'd be where you want to be, or the end of next year? Is there any deadline you're working to?
Nick, we set out in February this year. We set out a COVID backlogs recovery plan, and we're on target. Where it's all going well according to the plan. So for example, we've made some good progress in cutting the waiting time. So the number of people that have the longest waits has been halved in just the last 4 months, thanks to the incredible work of NHS staff up and down England. This is what we're seeing. So they're making great progress. Of course, there's a lot more to do. And I've been very open and frank about the waiting list, what we call the waiting list. It will rise before it falls, and that's because millions of people that stayed away are coming forward. I just don't know how many will. But as I say, I want them to come forward, and that does mean the pressure continues. But it's our job. You're working with my colleagues in the NHS to make sure that we're doing everything we can to deliver, and as well as the investment that's needed, the £33 billion extra over the next 3 years that is going into NHS and social care. It's about reform as well and workforce, getting more workforce in, where we're also making great progress.
All right. You referenced another matter. We have to touch on it. We all love we all love the NHS, Mr. Javid. Why is the party appearing to have fallen out of love with Boris Johnson as its leader?
Look, there's a lot of speculation around today about whether there's going to be a vote of confidence or not. And frankly, I don't know whether there will be. There are some of my colleagues that have publicly said they'd like a vote. And by the way, that's their right. I understand their frustrations, and we have a democratic process, and that's something for them. And I respect all my colleagues, and what I am just very focused on is I want to be in a government that is delivering like we are, whether it's on healthcare. We talked about that today with the challenges that we have. In the past, you rightly talked about the cost of living challenges that so many people are facing, and the government has responded decisively to that. We've got war in the continent of Europe, and the UK has led in defending our ally Ukraine in that. So there's a lot of challenges out there, and I think what people want to see is a government that is just fully focused on getting on with the job.
Indeed, but in a space of a couple of years, from an 80-seat majority to a vote of no confidence, what lies behind that catastrophic decline in fortune?
No, you're inviting me again to speculate, to get into the minds of my colleagues, and I think that we can understand their frustrations, whether that's to do with the Sue Gray report or other issues. But as I say, whilst my colleagues are they're entitled to their opinions, they have full respect. I just hope that what everyone can agree on is that a party is at its most successful when people are united and are focused on delivering for the people.
Will you vote for him?
Of course. Yes, I will.
So there will be a vote of no confidence then?
If there's a vote. I mean, I don't know. That's a decision for my colleagues, and we're here from Sir Graham Brady. If there is going to be one, but I think it's very possible there will be one, but I don't want to speculate any further.
I'll let you go after a final question. I'm just looking at your distinguished list of posts you've held: Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport, Business Secretary, Housing Secretary, Home Secretary, Chancellor, Health Secretary. There's only one post really missing there, Mr. Javid. Were the ball to come out of the back of the scrum, Mr. Javid, would you be interested in running as leader of the Conservative Party?
Look, I am very happy and privileged, I must say, to be doing the job that I have. I'd say this is the most important job I've had after a pandemic, to have the privilege of dealing with health and care challenges. That is what I want.
Grateful for your time, and well done, these one-stop shops. Be sure to acquaint yourself with where you can go in England, of course, in England for the NHS, more than 100 on the way. Sajid Javid, thank you for your time.